This is Terrence Kyle with MTAC Roofing Systems, doing a roof inspection at 8770 Campbellton Street. And the first thing I'm going to go over today is basically the overall condition of the shingle and how many years can you expect to get out of this shingle with the current condition that it's in. First thing I notice is if you take an overview look at the shingle, you can tell how brittle this is. And one thing that I always check for is if I start seeing this stuff right here, that's telltale signs that it is getting to the end of the life expectancy of the roof. So then I'll just see how secure these granules are on the shingle. And you can tell very lightly, if I run my finger across these shingles, you can tell that granules are just coming right off. That, like I said, that's telltale signs that it's getting pretty old and it's very brittle. Another thing I'm checking is the overall condition of the components, such as pipe boots, chimneys, and then the power mast here. So if you take a look at this right here, you can tell that the shingle got blown up or just came unsecure. And then you got these nails that are starting to back out. I don't think it would be causing a problem right now, but what I'll do before I leave today is I'll hit these back in and then I'll seal up this collar right here, because if water gets behind that collar, what happens is it just goes right down that pipe, it gets to the decking and could lead to bigger problems in the end. So I'll seal that up today before I leave. I've seen some stuff like this. Might not lead to a leak today, might not lead to a leak tomorrow, but I promise you, once these start rusting, they will lead to bigger problems. Just like these nails right here. You can tell that these are kind of trying to back out. The flashing doesn't look bad. The only thing I've seen with the flashing is that there's a couple cracks in there. So if you start really inspecting this flashing, you can see these little cracks. Again, are they leading to any bigger problems right now? They might not be leading to problems right now, but eventually, once this sealant starts wearing out and it becomes a bigger crack, water could definitely get behind there and start intruding in the house. And one thing we discussed on the phone that I'll go over is this little dip right here. So if I stand on the addition right here, it's firm. Reason why it dips down like that a lot of times is because when the addition is added on, a lot of times what happens is they don't have the same measurement and the same height right here as they did on the pre-existing roof, the pre-existing structure. So what it does is it drops down. Is this a big problem? Aesthetically, it can be a big problem, but in the long run, I don't think it will lead to bigger problems as far as water getting into the home. As long as the roof is built properly, it will not lead to bigger problems from my experience. I'll try to keep this video a little shorter, but I definitely want to hit all the important stuff. Exposed nail heads on the pipe boot. The pipe boot seems to be okay. Now, I don't preferably like lead or metal. The one on the back is metal. That one's starting to rust. I believe this one right here is lead. Now, no squirrels have gotten to it, but what happens a lot of times is squirrels will chew this up, and it eventually, it just leads to bigger problems. The flashing on this one looks to be okay. I've seen little minor cracks just like that. And then the exhaust vent here, you can see how rusted it is. I always suggest painting these. And when we build roofs, we paint these just because once this starts getting rusted and it deteriorates, now you got to call an HVAC company out to connect another pipe. Of course, connect another collar, little rain cap, and a rain cap here. So before that happens, we always like to paint them. And then the chimney here. This flashing is held by sealant. On this side, it looks to be okay. On this side, you can tell it's starting to fail. If I had to guess, there's probably step flashing underneath here, but what I would recommend is re-flashing the chimney here. And of course, more exposed nail heads. I haven't seen a single nail head that was sealed. But again, all slopes are pretty brittle, if I had to say so. This is just the basics of this roof. Is it in the best condition? It's not in the best condition. I've definitely seen worse, but I would suggest a full roof replacement. So I'll get down, I'll send this video over, and we'll go from there.